Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Guru
Jai Om Shripad Paramhansa Pariprajaka Stotra Sri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kundagiri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Tham Ki Jai Navadip Tham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Jamana Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Welcome everybody to Srimad Bhagavatam reading with His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami. It is Tuesday, November 25th, 2025, and we're beginning with Srimad Bhagavatam 4:24:12. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ramesh, would you like to begin?
Vibhuta Suragandharva Muni Siddha Narodagaha Vijata Suryaya Dikshu Kwanayantyaiva Nupuraihi. While Shatadruti was thus being married, the demons, the denizens of Gandharvaloka, the great sages, and the denizens of Siddhaloka, the earthly planets, and Nagaloka, although highly exalted, were all captivated by the tinkling of her ankle bells. Purport. Generally, a woman becomes more beautiful when after an early marriage she gives birth to a child. To give birth to a child is the natural function of a woman, and therefore a woman becomes more and more beautiful as she gives birth to one child after another. In the case of Shatadruti, however, she was so beautiful that she attracted the whole universe at her marriage ceremony. Indeed, she attracted all the learned and exalted demigods simply by the tinkling of her ankle bells. This indicates that all the demigods wanted to see her beauty completely, but they were not able to see it because she was fully dressed and covered with ornaments. Since they could only see the feet of Shatadruti, they became attracted by her ankle bells, which tinkled as she walked. In other words, the demigods became captivated by her simply by hearing the tinkling of her ankle bells. They did not have to see her complete beauty. It is sometimes understood that a person becomes lusty just by hearing the tinkling of bangles on the hands of women, or the tinkling of ankle bells, or just by seeing a woman's sari. Thus it is concluded that woman is the complete representation of Maya. Although Vishwamitra Muni was engaged in practicing mystic yoga with closed eyes, his transcendental meditation was broken when he heard the tinkling of bangles on the hands of Menaka. In this way, Vishwamitra Muni became a victim of Menaka and fathered a child who is universally celebrated as Shakuntala. The conclusion is that no one can save himself from the attraction of woman, even though he be an exalted demigod or an inhabitant of the higher planets. Only a devotee of the Lord who is attracted by Krishna can escape the lures of woman. Once one is attracted by Krishna, the illusory energy of the world cannot attract him. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Tadhati Shapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jatapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Shahagana Raganatan Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Shahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Holi Priye Vansha Kolpitarubhyascha Kripa Sindhobhyevacha Nam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vibhutasura Gandharva Muni Siddha Naroda Gaha Vijita Surya Dikshu Kwanayanthyaiva Nupuraihi these great exalted persons were all captivated just by the tinkling of her ankle bells. And the Srila Prabhupada makes the point that women are attractive to men, so much so that he says that the woman is the complete representative of Maya. That's how he puts it. Yes, the complete representation of Maya, the illusory energy. In the third canto also, Lord Kapila Dev says, just see the power of my illusory energy in the form of woman, who merely by the movement of her eyebrows can conquer even the greatest conquerors of the world. Or here in the purport, even beyond the conquerors of the world, those who've conquered their senses, the great sage like Vishwamitra Muni, can also be lured by the attractiveness of woman. So this is well known in not only in the Vedic culture, but in cultures all over the world, that woman is so powerful that a man can be attracted and forget everything about spiritual realization or God consciousness or anything. For a woman, a man can kill, a man can steal, a man can do anything against his own interests. Pramada, a woman is also known as Pramada, the one who drives a man crazy. For that matter, it's, there we are. Balame Pashamayaya, Sri Maya Jayano Dasham, Yakuroti Pada Krantan, Ruvi Drimbhena Kevalam. Just try to understand the mighty strength of my Maya in the shape of woman, who by the mere movement of her eyebrows can keep even the greatest conquerors of the world under her grip. Even in the lower species of life, the force of sex attraction is so strong. And even in the human species and on the platform of the demigods, the Gandharvas, the Munis, the Siddhas, the demons, they were all the Nagaloka, the Nagas, they're all attracted. There's a blues song, I think it's by Howling Wolf or someone. What makes a man go crazy when a woman wears her dress so tight? Must be the same thing that makes a hound dog howl all night. So this is, it is well understood that men are vijita, I think that's the word here, vijita, captivated or conquered. Jit means conquered. Vijita, captured, captivated, conquered by attraction to woman. And therefore, the Vedic culture is so careful that to regulate or restrict the interaction of men and women so that the brahmacharis are restricted from intimate dealings with women or really from close contact with women. Sannyasis are restricted, even the Vanaprasthas are restricted. Even the grihasthas are restricted, although there's some scope for association with women. It's restricted because that force is so powerful. In the Bhagavad Gita, dushpurena analenacha, the force of lust is so powerful. Rasya harati pragyam vairnavamivams. That one's the mind of a person, even who's trying to control it, can be pulled away like a boat on in a strong wind. Vairnavamivams. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada says that only by the strength of Krishna consciousness can one surpass the magic of sex attraction. Hare Krishna. There's a hand here from Saraswati.
Hare Krishna, pranams Guru Maharaj and all the Vaishnavas. I'm not sure if my audio is coming through okay right now.
Okay.
Guru Maharaj, just some observation. Although it's said that a result of piety is, to have beauty, it's almost like a curse to be beautiful, because when we look at the history of extraordinarily beautiful women, like let's say even Draupadi, you've got all these people who are sort of lusting after her and all this unwanted attention, even to the degree that they try to abduct her, like Jayādvaita did, or insult her, try to derobe her. Like, it's all this unwanted attention that comes from having beauty. So how can it really be a result of some pious act and seen as a blessing?
Well, the beauty, of course, will attract also a husband, yes, whose business is to protect and support the woman. So, although beauty may not be very much, one may suffer from beauty, one suffers also from ugliness. So we get our choice, and it seems that overall to take birth as a woman is problematic. If you're beautiful, men lust after you. If you're ugly, then people, treat you with disdain. And so whatever. For that matter, birth as a man is problematic also. One will have so many difficulties. If he's handsome, that's a problem. If he's not handsome, that's a problem. So however we look at it, to be born in material existence is problematic. There's no ideal birth. There's no birth where we say, finally, no problems. Hare Krishna.
Guru Maharaj, I was talking to somebody ages ago. I think she came from Nigeria, one of the remote villages, and she was telling me how the females there are always at risk from being violated. And she said, like, some female babies, when they're born, they disfigure them on purpose to try and avoid this sort of, abduction, violation, rapes, and things like that. But also in the text, Srila Prabhupada talks of how a woman becomes more beautiful with each successive child. But that, in the modern world, that doesn't really jive, so to speak, because these days beautiful women, in order to maintain their figures, prefer surrogacy in order to have children. All these celebrity women, they don't want to have children because it does, it does affect your body. You're not going to have that hourglass figure, so to speak. So I'm not sure if this is referring to the definition of beauty in the upper planetary system.
Oh, one thing, no. There's no indication that it's only for the indication is that it's general, not for the upper planetary systems also. First of all, we might question the so-called beauty of celebrities. And from what I've seen, they're like awful looking. You know, they have a certain glare, but that's different from actual beauty. It's a sort of, yeah, the glare. That's one thing. There's an artificial beauty in cultivated or promoted by the movie industry and so on. But there's a natural beauty, which Prabhupada is talking about here.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Also, just one last thing. I was reading about how AI is blowing up and how certain men are thinking, well, our idea of a perfect woman is going to be really hard to find that in a living female. So let's create these AI robots and program them in such a way to look, behave, act, which is perfect for me. So I'm not sure how much more degradation can take place in this age of Kali Yuga, where people are steering further and further away from what they're meant to do. Hare Krishna.
Well, as far as AI goes, of course, this is, what's the word? People are agitating their minds, thinking about robotic women to play with and so on. But I happened to, while reading on the copyright.gov, the United States government's copyright site, I learned that it's strong use of AI, of course, is porn, that men use AI to come up with various pictorial and video representations of women, including women they know. And well, we can take it from there. We don't have to go into the details, but it presents copyright questions, it presents privacy questions, and so on, and therefore it was on copyright.gov. But this is what the demons do when they get a new tool. I remember when the internet was in its infancy, the government of France included within each telephone subscription a little machine called a Minitel, which was meant to help France get ahead in the use of the internet among the people in general. And in short order, if the users had figured out that the best thing they could do with it was use it for sex, and I forget exactly how they did it, but it involved connecting people. So, and they had a name for it, some typically French name. It was well known. Anyway, I won't go into it, but even in America also, well, the publishers and magazine publishers and so on were trying to figure out. They knew they had to be on the internet, but didn't know how to make money with it. How do we monetize this? The pornographers had already figured that out long ago and were in serious profit. So all this to say that this is the business. What is that? Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parta manogatan atmanyeva atmana tushtas titi pragya taruchate. business of the mind is to concoct something for sense gratification. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatam. Sign of a sthita pragya, a spiritually situated person, is that he can put aside lusty desires, which are manogatam, just the results of agitating the mind, that Srila Prabhupada would say, just concocting things in the mind that will stimulate thoughts of sense gratification. Elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita, Sankalpa Prabhavan Kaman Sarvan Tyaktanam Asheshata. Sankalpa Prabhava, the same as Manogata. It means it's all imagination. There's a anyway, I have some cute videos, and I don't think I've practiced enough on Zoom to know how to show them to you, although they're short, but illustrating this point that one, that the attraction is manogatam. It's just a mental concoction. But the mind is so strong that men are attracted. What was that Vishwamitra Muni seeing? He wasn't seeing anything. He was only hearing some ankle bells. And what's an ankle bell? It's just, one little piece of metal against another piece of metal. So what's that? But so the whole process was going on in his mind. He was in meditation. He wasn't seeing anything. His eyes were presumably half open and half closed and fixed on the tip of his nose. But the ankle bells got in there, and sankalpa prabhavan, by mental concoction. Oh, there must be a woman. She must be a young woman. She must be a beautiful young woman. She must be an irresistibly beautiful young woman. She must look like this. She must look like that. Her face must be like this. And on it goes. So the lusty desires are born out of mental concoction. Therefore, what is that? Tasmat tvam indriyanyado niyamya. In the beginning, from the very beginning, one has to control the senses, beginning with the mind, or of which the center is the mind. So that's the situation. Hare Krishna.
I was thinking, Guru Maharaj, that when they talk about how with just the movement of an eyebrow, great conquerors can be captivated, it's no compliment for the woman, really, if they have extraordinary beauty. I mean, my daughter is strikingly beautiful, and what she says is that, well, if I didn't look like this, would you still feel this way? You don't see me. You have to see me pass how I look like. So it's not a compliment for women who are beautiful, that they're only seen. Their whole being is defined by what they look like. That's not really a compliment. They want to be seen for who they are inside, past this external beauty. Hare Krishna.
Yes, that's the problem. She wants to be seen for who she really is, for her inner qualities and so on. And everybody's mad after her external beauty. This is the nature of conditioned life, and in this instance, conditioned life in a feminine body, that female body, that one is condemned in this way, or that one has to deal with this problem, that men become lusty and want to misbehave, and so on, or that, as you said, that they care less about the they'll say, I love you for who you really are, da, 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 da. But it's another story. Therefore it's not so wonderful. Therefore, it's advised that one not think of women at the time of death, because then one may take birth as a woman, and it's problematic. It's problematic. But it's problematic to be born at all. But being a woman, damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you're ugly, that's a problem. If you're beautiful, that's a problem. If you're half and half, that's a problem. It's not wonderful, but it's not wonderful either way. To be attractive is not wonderful, and to be attracted is not wonderful. But that's the nature of conditioned life. Either you're going to be a complete representation of Maya, or you're going to be attracted by a complete representation of Maya. That's externally speaking. So either way, conditioned life is, the real curse is conditioned life, and the cause of conditioned life is forgetfulness of Krishna. Therefore, the only way out of the problems associated with conditioned life or sexuality is to revive one's eternal Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Some things in the chat. Murari Gupta Prabhu writes, Hare Krishna Maharaj, why is this attraction always presented from the male perspective and not how attractive men are to women and the cause of their bondage?
Because this is the way it works. When you don't see cows running after bulls. Of course, we don't see either one, cows or bulls. We see, skyscrapers and all of that. But if you're living in the villages, then the cows don't run after the bulls. Bulls run after the cows. So that's the nature, that the female attracts the male. Female attracts the male. And that's how they wind up getting together. The man runs after the woman. The woman's business is therefore to attract the man, to dress provocatively or more attractively, to the cosmetics and this and that, just to attract the man. The man's business is to be attracted and to pursue the woman. That's how it is in nature, generally. And it's there in Bhagavatam, not that also that the in the same section, Kapila Dev's instructions, that the woman looks upon the man, her husband, as a provider of children and clothing and ornaments and protection and this and that. And she becomes captivated or bound to material existence because of that attraction. So that's also there, both ways. But particularly, this strong force is known for being in the greatest obstruction for men, and for men who are serious about spiritual realization. In Ecclesiastes, I don't have my book with me, but beware of more bitter than death. I found woman whose heart is chains, whose hands are like that, shackles. He was fortunate, will escape her, but he was misses the mark, will be captivated by her. And the same observation is made not only in Vedic culture, but in other cultures of the world. And now we'd like to dismiss that as all patriarchal rubbish. But this is the wisdom of the world that we want to discard foolishly. So, Rabbi Srupra would sometimes quote that Prabhupada said that for woman, man is the woman. In other words, the woman becomes attracted by the man. So they both are attracted by Maya. The man is attracted by the woman by the man, and they both forget about higher pursuits. Hare Krishna.
Some more things in the chat. Jacqueline writes, "It seems to me that if her beauty is increased with each child, even if the representation of Maya to a man, that she is also more that simply that. She is also more than simply that, I think."
I'm not quite sure
Okay,
what's being said there.
should I read it again?
No, I just don't think it's quite clear. If her beauty is increased with every child, even if she represents Maya to the man, he's also more than simply that. Yeah, I mean, it's not that women are only representations of Maya. They have more to their existence than that. But in context, this plays a major role, that men are attracted to women to the point of madness. That's the point that's being made here. Not that there's nothing more to women than Maya. They have no assets spiritually. They have no brains. They have everything's there, but this strong force is being underlined. And Praveen has quoted na tatasya bhavein moho bandhaschanya prasangataha yoshit sangadyata pumso yata tatsangi sangata. The infatuation and bondage which accrue to a man from attachment to any other object is not as complete as that resulting from attachment to a woman, or to the fellowship of men fond of women. So this is, yes, a fact. By the way, somehow or other, Praveen's quote here has come up in larger type than some of the other things I'm seeing. I don't know why, but that's nice, because I don't have control here over the size of my chat box. So yes, one may be attracted to other things, but a woman trumps them all. And tatsangi sangata, one can be equally, pulled by the association of men attracted to women. Yes. if one associates with sadhus, brahmacharis, saintly people, then the force of woman is not as powerful for him because there's some purity of mind that comes to his aid. But when one is associating with people who are lusting after women and imagining this and that concerning women, agitating their minds for sense gratification, pursuing women, then that's toxic. And therefore one is advised very strongly, satsanga tyag, evoishnamachar, one should give up materialistic association and associate with devotees.
We have some things in the chat. Should I read them?
Okay.
Also, there is a font size control in the chat.
If you're using Windows or Mac,
Yeah.
Zoom doesn't. Zoom is unfriendly to Linux users.
Oh, I was thinking about the person actually writing can choose a large font because I see like I'll large. Yeah. See, there's
look at that.
And then small.
Oh, you see the difference. So that's we can request that we're on the conference, please take advantage of this and use the large font. It doesn't come across super large here, but smaller is unreadable. Large I can at least read. So if we go with large, that's great. Thank you, Rosalind.
Okay, some more things.
Yeah, those small things, what are they?
Yep, Saraswati Machi writes, I am thinking of the irresistible tinkling of Shakshi Gopal's ankle bells! Exclamation.
Yeah, of course I don't think it's, what's the word, parallel here. The point in the Sakshi Gopal story is that the bells were an indication that Krishna was present. And when the bells were no longer heard, then the Brahmin was, what's the word? Apprehensive that is Krishna still there, and he turned to look. And it's really, I mean, it is the what holds the comparison together is that they both concern ankle bells, but they're really two different situations. But it's nice to be reminded of Sakshi Gopal. Thank you.
Saraswati Machi writes, Brihad Bhagavatam states the greatest sadhana is association of devotees.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
I have a question on that. Is there more specific like kind of association that it's referring to, like rendering service or?
Well, and just keeping association with devotees will help us, even if it's just casual association or whatever. But especially if we're hearing and chanting and serving in the company of devotees, that's wonderful. That's the Machchita Madgita Prana Bodhyanta Padaspa. Katiyantastraman Nityan Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. For the devotees to be able to enlighten one another, encourage one another in Krishna consciousness. That's the particular prasanga. Satam prasangat mama virya samvida. Avanti hrit karna sayam kata. Ajjoshanadasha varga vartmani. Vidhavatir bhaktir anukramishati. By bhakta prasanga, by association with devotees through hearing and chanting about Krishna's Krishna Katha, one can progress from the earliest stages of devotional service all the way to pure bhakti. Hare Krishna.
Murari Gupta Prabhu writes, these passages are starting to seem a bit dated with the increasing prevalence of same-sex relationships.
Yeah, not really, because the world is still largely heterosexual, and arguably same-sex relationships have to do with frustration. In heterosexual relationships, you're looking at the same lust, which is now, what's the word, diverted. But be that as it may, the attraction of man for woman and woman for man has hardly gone out of date. A lot of rah-rah is associated with same-sex relationships, making them disproportionately a matter of attention. And yes, they are increasing as Kali Yuga spreads its influence or gears up its influence. But still, the attraction between male and female is predominant. Hare Krishna.
Praveen Prabhu writes, Chanakya Pandit also mentions that women remained young by having more children. Adva jara dehavatam parvatanam jalam jara. Amai punam jara srinam vashranama po jara. 17. Constant travel brings old age upon a man. A horse becomes old by being constantly tied up. Lack of children brings old age upon a woman, and garments become old through being left in the sun.
Not really child specific, it's amaitunam, jara srinam, but we'll take it as translated. Hare Krishna. That's culture where sex and having children have a natural connection. Sex leads to having children. Now, and by unnaturally preventing childbirth or pregnancy, we render everything ugly. Those who are, it's mentioned that those who in connection with the murder of that child, gosh, mind is failing me at the moment. Arshashoka, and that child was killed, and the co-wives who killed the child lost their natural radiance. And Prabhupada cites there also that by abortion and so on, the natural radiant quality of a woman is lost. Okay.
I'm sending. Go
That's
on.
it for the chat.
Yeah, I'm sending something to help people see where the font change is.
Please do.
So I just sent something. It may be a Mac specific and my Zoom app specific thing, but what I see is that when you press the T in the chat, it opens some panel, and then you press this big A and little a icon, and then from there you can select what options you want. So we can select the large option.
That's wonderful. You've spent all this time not knowing that. Thank you. And I suspect that Windows users have the same facility. We have time for another verse, I think. Prachina Barhisha Putra Shatadrutyam Dashabhavan Tulyanama Vrata Sarve Dharmasnata Prachetasaha. King Prachini Barhi begot 10 children in the womb of Shatadruti. All of them were equally endowed with religiosity, and all of them were known as the Prachetas. Purport. The word Dharmasnata is significant, for the 10 children were all merged in the practice of religion. In addition, they possessed all good qualities. One is supposed to be perfect when one is perfectly religious, perfect in the execution of one's vows to render devotional service, perfect in knowledge, perfect in good behavior, and so on. All the prachetas were on the same level of perfection. Tulya Nama Vrita, they were all equally religious. Dharmasnata, merged in religiosity. Just to be, that this is good fortune. A child is, one has a fortunate child when that child is dharmic, when that child has good knowledge. What is that? The Putra Shatru Apandita. In family life, a child is one's enemy when he's a fool and a rascal. But when he's perfect in knowledge and Shila, is that here? No, it's not. But anyway, perfect in good behavior. When these are all virtues for a child to be perfect or advanced in religious life and execution of vows and devotional service, in knowledge and good behavior, these are all wonderful qualities. And by the way, having good children, having good sons depends so much on the virtue of the wife. So this is also there. It's not only that women are representations of Maya, but when the wife is religious, when the wife is Krishna conscious, then she becomes a virtuous mother and virtuous wife, a virtuous wife and a virtuous mother. So that's very much appreciated. Okay, we can stop here. Have kirtan.
Naveen, Prabhu, would you like to lead? Yes, I can. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Om Vishnupad Purnamansa Pariprajaka Ashtottara Shri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Miraj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Ram Sekaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadiko Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kundakiri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Go Premanande.
His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami Ki Jai.
Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bo. Thank you all very much. And special thanks to Rasananda for finding that setting. Hare Krishna.